Oh, hey guys, it's Alan, a Boston fan. And today I wanted to share a very, very kind gift that somebody on Reddit sent me. Um, and they didn't need to, it was spontaneous on their part. In full disclosure, I had gotten ripped off on a group in the T206 Facebook group, and it was all my fault, and I ignored the warning signs because I wanted the card. And I, posted about it, not for pity, but just to educate, like, hey, this guy is out there. Here's the warning signs. I knew all of them, and I still fell prey, and I think, I can own that completely. It was dumb on my part, but whatever. And he messaged me on Reddit because he, I guess, is part of the group, but he's also part of a T206 Reddit group that I belong to. And he's like, hey, I feel bad about what had happened. And I've got this Red Sox item that I think would fit in your collection far better than mine. And it's just been hanging around for, years. And so can I send it to you? And I was like, well, sure. Like, of course. And I'm thinking it's probably an autograph or, maybe it's an old Red Sox ticket stub or something, something small like that. And what I got blew me away. And it is, and he got this at auction, it is a 1934 American League game ball from Fenway Park. And the inscription says, hit by Shea of Chicago White Sox, 10th inning, or 11th, I don't remember, at New Fenway Park, August 20, and I looked up the date because the last one's missing. I think it's August 25th, 1934. And I fully believe that this is an authentic game-used ball from 1934 at Fenway Park, and I can tell you a couple reasons why. If we look right here, you can see the original stamp. It's very faded, but it is there. And that is the American League stamp. I've checked online. I don't have my computer with me right now, but that is the stamp that was on American League Baseball's 1934 through, I think, 1939. There should be a signature there. That's all faded. These chew marks, I think, from growing up to me, seem like they're pavement marks, throwing the baseball on pavement. That's what my baseballs would look like after I played with it a little bit. And so I believe this is real, hit by Merv Shea, Spec Shea, of the White Sox. And I believe it's real because if you bought a baseball at this time, I don't know if you could, but it would be tremendously expensive and wouldn't be something that you would write that some random player like Spec Shea, and he had a negative WAR, so he wasn't great, hit and then keep it saved. You wouldn't do that. You would supposedly use it, right? Like people bought baseballs to use. And then if you caught a baseball in the stands, my thought was at the time people would use it. But this one was obviously saved. It's not ballpoint pen. This is very clearly fountain pen, so it's time period ink. And then Merv Shea isn't exactly the greatest player of all time. He does have a couple Z-Nut cards, which I may pick up at some point to display this. But this is just absolutely fantastic. So what they mean by New Fenway Park. So in 1933, Tom Yawkey decided to make a major renovation of Fenway Park into what you know today as Fenway Park. They did things like take Duffy's Cliff out in left field. They had to rebuild a bunch of bleachers. There were a couple fires that had burned them out. The right field bleachers, I think, had burned out and never been replaced. There were a couple fires during construction. He connected the left field grandstand to the left field wall, which is now the Green Monster. He built a concrete wall there instead of an old wooden fence that had been there. And that is what the new Fenway Park was, opening in 1934. So I looked this ball up, and whatever date, it was August 25th or 26th. And 10th or 11th, I don't remember. I think I have the note right here. It's hit in the 11th inning. Okay, so I looked up that game, found it in August. And again, I found the date in August. And Merv Shea came to bat and in the 11th inning. And so that provides the provenance for this, is that someone, obviously, that you didn't have retrosheet.org that you could look up every game. And this person took note of that moment and wrote it down. And so he was facing Rube Goldberg, or Wahlberg, sorry, not Goldberg. Rube Goldberg is the machine my kids are making. And I happen to have a Rube Wahlberg autograph in my Red Sox collection. So he was pitcher. So this ball was pitched by Rube Wahlberg of the Red Sox. And in that at bat, Merv Shea lined out to shortstop. And in my head, when I looked at it, I was like, oh, cool, this was lined out to, and I don't remember the shortstop at the time. I apologize for not doing all my research. I did look it up at one point. And then I thought that was really cool, like a line out to the shortstop at Fenway Park. And then I realized something myself is when I think of old games, 30s, 20s, because there's such little footage, you never see foul balls. And I had just gone under the assumption that nobody ever fouled pitches off into the stands. So at first, I assumed this was the pitch that was lined to shortstop. And, oh, cool, maybe the shortstop threw it into the stands afterwards. And I was like, it doesn't say it was hit in play. It was hit, which means it was probably a foul ball. And it just made me realize, like, I had never thought about players of that time fouling pitches off, just because I thought about slap hitting, and, you know, there's no full game footage, so you don't see. It's always, and any foul balls would be cut out, right? They wouldn't have saved that film. And it was just one of those perspectives that I never thought about, and it's so weird, but never thought about players at that time fouling balls off into the stands and grabbing a foul ball back then. But of course it happened. And so this is probably a foul ball during that bat. There's no records of like pitches. So, you know, I can't track his pitches. Oh, the fourth pitch. So you can see the kind person who gifted me this ball, bought it in an auction 2014. So just a fabulous piece. I've got an old original Fenway brick. I've got a piece of the original screen behind home plate, or the one that was from like New Fenway until 76 or 77 or something, or maybe 2002, I don't remember. So I've got a little Fenway like thing that the pieces that I will display, and this ball's going to gladly go with it. I just can't thank this individual enough for just an amazing piece of Red Sox history. A 1934 game used baseball. It's just fantastic. Just amazing. And I love that the stamp's still there. I love that whoever had it, and I'm turning it so much, actually inscribed with exactly what this ball is. Foul ball by Merv Shea of the Chicago White Sox, pitched by Rube Wahlberg, 1934, August 25th or 26th. I think it's the 25th, at New Fenway Park. So I was just stunned by the gift. I was expecting something small, and I got a box and was just completely floored. And this is one of my new favorite pieces. Just really cool. So thank you to that member. I'm not naming names or anything like that, but thank you for the kind gift. This is so much appreciated. This will find a permanent home in my collection. And when our crazy construction gets done, this will be permanently displayed in my sports room. So thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'd love to hear if you guys have little pieces of history, ticket stubs, show me, you know, share a video that you have. If you've got a random game used item, I want to see it too. Anything beyond cards, I think, you know, I've said this before, in a collection, anything beyond cards, you know, adds texture to a collection in my view. And I know some people just collect cards, but I collect everything. And so I like to add texture, what I call texture. So if I just had cards showing off, that's one thing, but I want 3D pieces. I want things you can pick up and handle. I want baseballs and autographs and a brick from Fenway Park, you know. So this is just super cool and is going to be treasured for as long as I collect. So thank you very much. And guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Keep collecting, keep having fun. Adios, amigos.